And welcome once again to Frankie Darcell Has a Big Mouth. I'm so excited about being here. Thank you for checking in on this podcast, and this podcast will be no different. Wow, we talked about a 25 or 30-year relationship. I'm so excited to interview my guest, the Honorable Judge Greg Mathis. Yes, that one, who's cleared to let you know he's from Detroit. Yeah, the Motor City. Born and bred, and where his discovery to become a jurist happened. A national TV show, more than 25 years, winning several awards, including an Emmy and a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. But nothing like talking about family. Mathis Family Matters. And yes, we go there. Enjoy this podcast. It's the Honorable Judge Greg Mathis. Listen, I am so super excited to have the opportunity to speak with someone who, and it's hard to explain on this introduction, when you see incredible things happen for amazing people. Judge Greg Mathis, it is my honor as someone who I have watched, I'd like to call a friend, and you've got great friends, just explode on the national stage. When I had the opportunity to get you in this platform, I said, absolutely, I will come in early and put on some orange lipstick to hang out with Judge Greg Mathis. How you doing, Judge?
Thank you. So you don't wear the hot red lipstick no more that you did when we were young adults.
I know, right? I know. Wow.
Thank you for having me so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I love so much to be able to come on air with friends, and you've been a long-term friend, and you're the best interview I suggest I'm going to have. Even before you ask, I know that this is going to be my favorite interview.
Thank you so much. I'm going to go back really quickly, and I want to get to really your show, your television show, Mathis Family Matters. Oh my! Yeah. I'm watching now. I binge watched this weekend, but let me go back just a little bit. You know, for people who may be watching this for the first time, just your trek to the success that you have. Clearly, as a judge and the like, and practicing law, your civil rights, your activism in the city of Detroit, and then from that, from the stage play to your judge show. How many years now, Judge, with the judge show, the award?
We're now 24th year of taping.
24 years.
Yes.
And now.
Thanks to Detroit and all the other, thanks to Detroit and Philadelphia and all the other Black people who keep me on.
See, I love you. I love it. All the other Black people that keep me on. Listen. So how did the conversation come up, Judge, to do a reality show, Mathis Family Matters? Who sat down and had the conversation with you and said, this is what the next thing is that we should do?
Be careful of what you have your children trained for. My youngest son went to college for television production, came out, worked for several shows, and then he came to us and said, would you all want to do a family reality show? We said, oh, no, we don't want anything to do with it.
Right.
And then being a good pitch man, he knew where to get me. He came back. He said, guys, I think this would be a good opportunity to show America what a strong Black family looks like and to inspire our community to enjoy, to become empowered, and then overcome their obstacles. And so, of course, that touched my heart. I said, go ahead, but we still didn't think it would happen. We got 10,000 shows I pitched every year, and only 100 come on. And so we're like, go ahead, take your best shot. And he came back with a deal.
Listen, and that's a visionary, because I'm going to tell you, when I saw it, I was like, oh, okay. And Judge, I have fallen in love with the show. You guys are respectfully hilarious. I absolutely love it. I have watched you and Linda for a very, very long time. She is just one of the most elegant women you ever want to meet. And I love watching you two. Now I'm going to ask
Thank
this
you.
question. Talk about, Linda, your marriage for what you want to share with us. And in one of the episodes, I think it was last weekend, because I binge watched last weekend, and you guys were with your son, and he was talking about moving forward with doing some things. And she just conceded for a minute, and because you all were talking about keeping you off of social media. And she conceded and let you talk. Talk about that, because it's about family, and you really get to see just what an incredible family you guys have. And it starts with you and Linda.
Certainly. And we've been together since 1980 when we met in college. So we've been together 42 years. We married 5 years later, and we've been married for 37, coming up on 38 years, or may have just passed 38. I'm going to get in trouble. Nonetheless, during that time, of course, as the children came and we were building our professions, she majored in early childhood education. That was her dream. I majored in pre-law and political science, desiring to be a civil rights activist and a civil rights lawyer. And well, we both were able to achieve our dreams. I came out, practiced civil rights lawyer after working for city council and the mayor, as you know. She taught as the preschool director at Bates Academy, left a few years later and started her own school. She started 5 and started and operated 5 preschools. And so during that time, you can hear how hectic it was. And I was going to law school at night and being denied after law school my license to practice for 3 years because of my background. So I say all that to say we went through a lot of stressful years in those first 15 years. And that's what a challenge is when you're building, when you have financial challenges in the household, when you're really running around and trying to keep your household together with the children and their education, etc. But once that was over and they got out of the house, it's been a ball ever since. And so that's when you can celebrate and have your time. Don't start no family unless you're ready to lay back a little, folks. But when you start a family, understand what you're going into and know that it won't be until they're 18 before you can resume having fun.
Yeah, I know, right? Listen, so are you happier? And I shouldn't say happier. The difference between being the daddy and the granddaddy, because you know that clip, and I love the show when you were with your granddaughter, that ice cream and pizza. You're like, oh, okay. I think that is just love. Right. All over it. She is adorable.
Yeah, she is. And she is the apple of my eye. And the love in my heart is the strongest it could ever be. And let me say that raising her and spending time with her, raising her, meaning I'm able to spend a lot of time with her. Yeah. Typically every other day I see her. And that has allowed me to once again enjoy the type of love you get from fatherhood without the stress I just talked about. So that's the better part of grandfatherhood.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I remember when there was your name in the community about becoming the next president of the SCLC. And I was like, wow, that would be amazing. I think he would be great. Your work in civil rights, your work with, God bless her soul, the Honorable Brenda Scott, who I know you and I both love and adore. You took that with you to your national syndicated judge show, and you talked about it in this show about how people will come after your family. Talk about how you have that passion in your spirit, but you stay balanced in the space that you're in.
Well, you know, you mentioned my training, if you will, in Detroit. And, you know, I trained under the strongest elected officials and civil rights leaders in America. First Black mayor, Coleman Young, city council in Detroit, 2 different council persons, and then mentored by Reverend Jackson, and who I now serve as chairman of the board. Many don't know that I was vice president of Rainbow Push en route to resigning from my judgeship as I was approached with the television show. And I explained to Reverend Jackson that because he was going to run for president in 2000, and this was 99, he wanted me to take over presidency of Rainbow Push. And between you and I, that's why I backed away from SCLC because Reverend Jackson.
Wow.
And so when the television offer came, because they had heard about my background and they thought that was Hollywood type story. And so they made the offer to me, and I showed Reverend Jackson the contract. I said, they want to give us this money for our story, Rev, because you know he helped get me out of jail as a kid. I said, so what do you want me to do? He looked at that. He said, well, you can tide with us. and then I concluded with a national platform, I could be more effective in what my passion is, and that's empowering our people, changing lives, lifting our people out of poverty, fighting for positive policy that's going to uplift our community. And that has allowed me to do that on television in a national sphere.
I am so proud of you. I am so proud. And the Mathis Foundation that you have, which really is serving people and has served people in the city of Detroit. You never forgot your community. You never forgot where you came from. And no matter what it is that you've accomplished in life, you've been able to keep that connectivity to the community and not allow you're a big celebrity now, right?
Nope. I'm not a celebrity at all. I'm a judge that happens to be on television. You can walk off the street. You can be a rapper and then become a celebrity. No, baby. I went to school for 9 years. Undergrad and law school.
How many people in a day that you see? I can only imagine with your travel and where you may go that are saying, Judge, and they want your autographs and all. You're a celebrity. You're a jurist with celebrity status. How about that?
All right. I'm a public figure. I'll take that. But you mentioned the work I do in the community. In fact, once we get off immediately after, and we can stay on as long as you like, I'm headed to the Mathis Community Center to greet some of the folks, and we have some work we're doing over there today, urban farming. So I'm going over there to help with the urban farming we're doing. And so that is my life's passion. It still is. And so celebrities, that's not quite their life's passion. That's a nice little thing to, that's cute.
Judge Mathis, listen, and you mentioned time with respect to your time, and I know I'm going to give you just.
I'll take as long as you like.
Okay, great. Good. Listen, because we could talk for a long time, but I got a boatload of questions for you. But I do want to ask you as well on the back of that. When you do shows like reality shows like this, you talk about some family dynamics that the average person may not know. I love the conversation you had with your son when he was talking about being a part of the LGBTQ plus community. And I believe the question you asked him was, well, at work, what did you say? You said no, or he said he wouldn't respond.
He would say no.
Yeah, and you really looked hurt as a father, as someone who understands the community and the challenges. And you paused for a moment. What were you thinking in that pause? And your brilliant response to your son?
Every time I hear this question and I reflect on it, I get a little emotional, because what it meant to me was my son had been denying who he was for me.
Wow.
He said he hadn't told the people at work who he really was, because of how it would affect me. You deny your entire life who you are for your dad.
Wow. So much respect for you, Judge. So much respect for you, and so much respect for his courage at this time, this space on a show that he created, to say this is the forum, and how not just you and he changed, Judge, the lives of many and that probably 1 minute and 50 seconds on national television. So please let your son know that I applaud him. And, you know, Judge, I've said before, it's all in divine order. It's all in divine order. That was powerful.
You know,
and I
Frank,
love you even more for the way you handled that.
You know, the reception we're receiving all throughout the country, both from members of the LGBTQ community who are overwhelmed with happiness and gratefulness to us, as well as people in our community, everyday folks. They're walking up to me, those folks who hadn't or wouldn't have walked up to me for a Judge show. Yeah, they're coming to us, thanking us. And so we feel motivated, and that we intend and we appear to be successful in changing that narrative about the LGBTQ community. And so you're right, divine order. Much of what I went through as a street youth prepared me to work in the community, relate to the community, and help empower the community. Now, once my son, who's facing discrimination, it allows me once again that divine order. I've prepared you through your son. I prepared you. My brother was gay. And so I'm prepared in divine order to fight for this cause, which I'm fighting for sure.
Yeah. Awesome. Incredible family, incredible kids. I'm going to let, as we get ready to wrap up, I will. Who are you most like in your sons and daughters? Who's most like you and who's most like Linda out of your children?
They have a little bit of all of us. However, my youngest daughter and my youngest son, probably more so. They're a little more laid back than me. Their temperament is longer than mine. I don't know if you put it that way, but they're calm. And my oldest son, Greg, and my oldest daughter, Jade, they both are short on patience like their dad. And so I would say those two. Yeah. And Greg, as you may know, worked for the U.S. Senate. And so he had the political bug, and he started at Detroit City Council, Joanne Watson, then went to U.S. Congress, Jesse Jackson Jr., and then the U.S. Senate. And so we're very proud that he also followed in his dad's footsteps. My other daughter, both my daughters are lawyers, and Amir, my youngest son, is in television. So they took a little bit of all of it.
All of us, yeah. So much to be proud of. As we get ready to go, first, what do you want to say to the international audience, and what do you want to say to Detroit? I will share with you. So my time in Detroit has come to an end on the radio, but I'm good with it. So I am doing a celebration weekend that I'm excited about. And, you know, Judge, I moved to Detroit 27 years ago. And I could not just leave Detroit without letting them know, because Detroit just got a way of getting in your spirit and your heart. I wear it all over me. My daughter, I said once, we're going home to Virginia Beach for the weekend. She said, no, that's your home. Detroit is my home, right? So Detroit has a way of just being in your spirit. So first, speak to the international community before we wrap up, and then speak specifically to the city of Detroit and what you want to say to them as we close.
Yes, certainly. You know, I want you to look at our family, folks, and the Mathis Matters, Mathis Family Matters, Sunday night on E! 10 o'clock, because I think that you'll see that your family can matter also, and all of us can matter. And when I say that, I mean matter in a way that can change and have an effect on society. All four of my children have obstacles and challenges in their life that they've had the majority of their life, yet they've overcome them. We come together and address the obstacles with each other. And we also advise and disagree with each other. And however, we don't have to fight and yell and curse at each other to get our points across. So we want our viewers to see that as an example. And lastly, I want Detroiters to know I am very clear on how I got to my success. I don't believe Chicago would have voted for a former street youth and high school dropout who who was running for office 15 years out of jail. I don't believe Los Angeles would have voted for me, but the citizens of Detroit had faith in me. They knew me because I had served them. And so that's why I'm at, because of the Detroiters who believed in me. And I think they believed in me because of them, and I continue to.
Well, Judge, we are so proud of you. I am absolutely just head over heels about the new show, Mathis Family Matters. I couldn't think of a better family to be in this space. Shout out to your son for that persistence, but he knew you. And he's a visionary and obviously good at what he does because he put an incredible product. He put an incredible product on the air. And I hope that the show is going to be renewed. Do we know yet?
No, but I assume everybody wants to judge on television. They can play games if they want to. I got a lot of people calling me. I believe they are because the show is doing well.
Yeah. Well,
I hope so.
Yeah.
So the Judge Show.
Great. The Judge Show, watch it each weekday morning. It's part of my getting ready for work regimen. And now falling in love because I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it. And I watched it I was like, good. I'm still learning how to do digital stuff. So I learned how to do the recorder where it sends you the reminder that pops up on my screen on Saturday. So I haven't missed an episode. It is an outstanding show. Thank you for sharing your family, with us and all the lessons that can be learned in it with some great laughter and entertainment along the way. Judge Greg Mathis, I absolutely love you to life. Ain't nothing you can do about that. Thank you for sharing your time with me. I appreciate it so much, so much.
Lovely. Thank you. I love you to death. And please, if I can participate in your celebration, and I'd like to. So
absolutely,
get some thought and let me know how I participate.
I will. I'll shoot it.
All right. Follow up with us and let us know.
Absolutely. I will. Thank you so much, Judge. I appreciate you. Enjoy. Please let your family know. Frankie Darcell loves their show. I am there watching. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Take care.
Okay. Thank you. I'm headed to do some urban farming. All right. Bye-bye.
All right, Judge. Bye-bye. Wow, how amazing. And the judge does not normally get emotional, but when you talk about family, well, I guess that's why they took him off Twitter, right? I do want to thank the Honorable Judge Greg Mathis for joining me. And Frankie has a big mouth with big topics, big ideas, big guests, and of course, we want big solutions. Make sure that you come back to check it out. Of course, at the iHeart Radio app, on the network, Real Times Media, and of course, the Black Information Network. So listen and watch the podcast wherever you get your favorite podcasts weekly. We'll talk again soon.